Well, it just gives me the best part about Thanksgiving is that's when I kind of play possum, right? I let my uncle sit here and spew his political,
His racist rhetoric.
his
Whatever propaganda he got from Donald Trump.
whatever propaganda he got, right? And I just sit there, right? It's the first half, right? I'm just kind of taking it, right? I'm just taking notes, right? Then at Christmas, I come back. I've done my research. I have numbers. He's drunk. And I absolutely obliterate him, right? I'm asked to leave early. That's fine. I wanted to get home to watch Charlie Brown Christmas anyways.
1 2 1 2.
Check. I'm up.
Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. All right.
My fault.
You're all right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Park Score podcast. Cason went ahead and got us started here, talking about Thanksgiving. Yeah, the whole meme behind Thanksgiving is that you gotta own your racist uncles with your MSNBC stats. But I've never had an experience like that at any family gathering ever.
Yeah.
But also because our family is kind of a monolith a little bit.
Yeah.
And also I think people do this thing where they self-segregate, and if they know that there's going to be that kind of conversation going on, we're in the South, so people are usually polite enough not to bring it up, or they just go to a different Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like people, I don't know, in the South, you always hear people say, there's two things you never talk about over dinner: religion and politics. Religion and politics, you never talk about that. So, and in my personal experience, what that usually amounts to is we're actually really going to never talk about religion, but we are going to talk about politics in a very vague way, where we kind of like one thing you always hear people say is, well, I mean, they're all corrupt. You know, you hear that a lot. You hear people say, well, I mean, they're all corrupt. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess that is something we can agree on. It's pretty crazy to be at a point in American politics where people are just kind of like, yeah, the whole thing is just ruined.
Yeah. No, the most annoying thing is when you hear people talking politics and it's just them complaining back and forth to each other about this like radical character that they've created in their mind.
Well, I mean, you don't feel like there's actual super radical people out there that are kind of super brainwashed? I'm one of them.
Oh, I know.
But I'm brainwashed in a very particular direction.
And you're brainwashed the good way.
Yes, I'm
radical the good way.
I'm the good kind of brainwashed.
I'm one of them good radicals.
No, but nobody around me really honestly likes talking about politics. Actually. And I'm not very interested in politics, to be honest. Whenever I was younger, I was super interested in it, and I was always known as a person that was super opinionated, and I'd get up in people's faces and be like, oh, you didn't know about this? Oh, da-da. But at some point, I kind of lost interest in that, and we were watching a debate the other day, me and Maddie, between some liberal millennial guy, journalist, and it's like 20 Gen Z Republicans or whatever. And they were debating on immigration, and they were like, oh, well, you don't know about this stat? Oh, you didn't hear about this thing that popped up on the news the other day? Oh, they went up and they jailed this guy, and then he got this $50 million lawsuit. And I'm just like, genuinely, how do y'all have room in y'all's minds for all of this, like the news headlines and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what somebody's interested in, I don't fault them. But I was telling Maddie, it's really tough, because anytime you get into like a specifically political debate, instead of maybe like a philosophical kind of debate or like a ethics debate, you end up having to defend stuff that you don't actually agree with, because because like let's say because what ended up happening was they were debating immigration, and the liberal journalist guy was like, well, Donald Trump did immigration reform in this way, like, and he committed like this crime or something, and the debate quickly shifted from should we enforce immigration or not into is Donald Trump infallible? And the Republican kids end up having to like defend, maybe some not so great practices. And I was like, I would just feel so trapped in that conversation because I will sit here and I'll argue my idea of how I think it should happen. But I'm not going to sit here and argue that the way that it's playing out is like perfectly done, because then you end up in this pretzel where because you've committed to that position, you're having to defend stuff that you're like, that's.
I mean, that's all. I feel like that's all.
It's
politics.
It's easier to defend an idea than like a person.
Yeah, well, it's just like,
or like a bureaucracy, or like it's easier to defend an idea than like and it's just because human beings are flawed. So as soon as you give undying support for this one person, well, they're going to make mistakes, and then you end up having to defend those mistakes. And so it's kind of just like, man, I have no interest in this. And also too, I don't know if you've ever seen Destiny, that like blue-haired guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he will sit there and just like quote this, well, this statistic says this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, number one, I'm not trying to memorize all that stuff. That's ridiculous because a lot of statistics are fabricated anyway. I would rather us sit here and argue from like a philosophical standpoint, like, should we do this thing?
Yeah.
Because then you can get into, because then that's a defensible position, like the ethics of it, or should we do immigration this way or something like that. That's a much easier debate to have because you don't have to memorize all these stats and all this. Like, I'm no fan of that.
Corrupt.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're all corrupt. That's right.
I just never. I don't know. I try not to get involved with politics.
You just like your bread and circuses.
My simulated combat.
Have you ever seen that Alex Jones video where he's talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Simulated combat.
He's talking about how he's like, and the people. They say things like, "No, did you see the game the other day?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. Did you see they're putting in a new surveillance grid?" And and they go, "Oh, gee, buddy, why are you talking about that? That's kind of freaky." Yeah, it is pretty freaky, right? It's kind of freaky how they're changing society and treating people like. Da, da, da.
No, I mean, like, and I watched that, and like, obviously, Alex Jones is like just a character. But like, I mean, it is like it is true. But like, I think it is true where it's like, oh, you're kind of, whether if it's on purpose or not. I'm not gonna sit here and say there's like a whole conspiracy, but like the idea of like grown men.
But you're a sports enjoyer. So how, like, I guess for you, how do you balance that?
How do I justify that? Understand that it's just a game and I got more important stuff in my life to really worry about.
Do you ever feel put down, or do you ever feel dejected when your team loses?
Yeah, and then I just tell my, like, usually what it is, I'll be watching a game and they start losing, and all it takes is for me to just go, bro, this team sucks, and then I just walk away, and I'm like, yeah, they suck. Okay, cool.
So I've probably talked about this on the pod before, but I think it's worth reiterating. They did a study where they figured out that if your team wins, you experience a increase in testosterone, and if your team loses, you experience a decrease in testosterone, as if you really underwent a real life loss. Well, wait, real quick. And my point was, being a bandwagon fan is like the best thing you could ever do, because then you're always experiencing a permanent increase in test.
Bodybuilders becoming bandwagon fans just to get that little test.
Straight up.
Nah,
Ride
dude,
that high.
It really is like you can hear like I'll listen to a lot of sports podcasts and stuff, right? And I mean, whether it's just like, you know, it could just be like, oh, well, they're hyped because their team's winning, or they're down because their team. But it's like you can literally hear it in people's voices when like they win a game and they're like, dude, Geno Smith looks like a Pro Bowler. He might be the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, I really think this team could, you know, win it all this year, you know, after one game. And then they'll go on like they'll lose one game, and somebody will call and just be like, this is terrible. I'm tired of all this bullshit. I give up. Like, they're just totally dejected. Bro, it actually is, like, kind of gross. Whenever I'm listening, and it'll be, like, a grown man just totally dejected, and he's like, I don't know why I still do this. I give up. I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, but it's a game.
Yeah, so, I mean, but I'm not totally sure. Oh, you said essentially the way you cope with that is to just kind of throw your own team under the bus and admit that they suck.
Well, no, I mean, not even that, but like, what, like, if once, now that I realize that too, of like scientifically, if they lose, then it'll probably decrease my testosterone. Then you have to like stop. You have to, because this is what I think it is, right? I think it goes back to like our days of like, you know, hunting and gathering, and like if you were, you know, if we were in a civilized society, right? The Houston Texans would just be whatever group of civilization resided in Houston. When they went off,
your warriors.
Yeah, just these warriors, right? And if you watched your soldiers, your warriors go to enemy territory and get their ass handed to them, you'd be like, damn, it's over for our civilization. Like, I'm probably going to die, and they're probably going to take all my shit. So, like, I think subconsciously in our minds, we still, like, feel that whenever our boys, our home team, goes to, you know, play a game, and then they just get their freaking butts whooped. They get mollywopped. They get ran through like shit through a tin horn. You're like really put down. Because you think like, oh no, my tribe lost. I'm not going to eat.
But so here's my question.
Keep
That's
moist,
not.
Man.
Hey, what's up, Hunter? You want to be on the podcast?
Live right now?
Yeah. Well, it's recorded, so it's all good. What's up? Hop on the pod. Come say hi.
You're really doing a podcast?
Yeah, we're doing a podcast. Yeah. Say what's up.
Hey, what's going on, brother Gores?
Oh, nuts, man. We're just
chilling out.
Yeah, Cason was in the middle of talking about sports, but we can talk about whatever you want, honestly.
Oh, I've got a very serious request.
Okay.
And that's why I'm stopping by.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
It is very serious.
Okay.
Do you happen to have anything that is Star Wars? Star Wars. Anything.
Star Wars. Like
probably.
Really?
Yeah, it'd probably be in our attic.
Yeah, definitely in the attic.
Oh, that's kind of hard. No, that's too work.
No, it won't be. Well,
this one might be easier. Anything Disney?
Probably, definitely, somewhere.
Be also in the attic.
Yeah.
It's really not that.
Yeah,
and we also got to
get
Christmas decorations down too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are y'all doing that today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, anything Star Wars or Disney?
Okay. Like toys, like
anything.
Memorabilia. Got you.
A mask, a doll.
Okay.
I got you.
Something stuffed. Something you used to sleep with. Yeah, when you used to sleep. Yes.
That you used to sleep with.
Yes. I'll give it back so you won't.
Okay. All right.
I won't destroy one of your memories. I'll just borrow it. I'll just borrow it for a very.
Create new memories.
Yes.
Yeah. It's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is kind of nice in here. I've never.
Yeah, it's a little home gym setup and
it's
jam.
Yeah, I mean.
Jam studio.
Yeah, I mean, do you use those?
Yeah, like everything in here. I broke the cables on that the other day, so I can't
that was
do any
scary.
more cable work.
Did it come crashing down?
It did. I was doing some face pulls.
Yeah, I can tell from your abs you've been on that little crunch thing over there.
Oh, geez, man. Thank you.
Yeah, not bad.
That's
okay, well.
That's compliment.
To
yeah, do you want to?
What do you call this podcast? The Gore.
It's just the Park Score podcast. It used to be the Gore Brothers Media podcast, but Cason skipped out on that.
Messed that up.
Yeah.
We had to move up north to
Yeah.
The big D.
the Big D. You like the Big D, I know. I heard.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Big D. I mean, who doesn't like a Big D?
Nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Keeping it moist.
yeah.
Keep it moist,
That's how we
man.
do
Keep it moist, and if you have one, that's good. As long as you don't want one. Oh, or
Right.
I don't know how to say that anyway. All right, Star Wars or
Star Wars,
Disney?
Disney.
We got
Okay,
you.
we got you.
And then I'll be right back to. I'll text me and I'll come pick it up.
Okay,
Cool.
solid.
All right, see you guys.
Can do. All right, guys, that was Hunter. Shout out the Hunter. Keeping it moist. Oh, yep. But you were saying that essentially go ahead.
Essentially, the big way I try to avoid that, right? Because I love me my sports. I love me my sports ball.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The big way you try to, I guess, just avoid that is just continue to remind yourself, like, dude, it's just a game. Like, literally nothing matters.
So, but why? You're talking about it being your tribe, right?
Yeah.
Why the Raiders? Why not the Houston Texans?
So, whenever I first, there's a lot of layers to it, right? Whenever I first became a fan of football, okay, the Houston Texans sucked. And I was like, I don't want to be a Texans fan. And also, I just...
The irony.
Yeah, no, literally.
The irony
I
there.
know, trust me, I know. And also, I'm just like, I don't know. I wanted to be different.
Yeah,
But,
fair enough. Fair enough.
But, a big part of it
We've all
is
been
probably I
there.
just wanted to be different. But the Raiders, one, they just had cool-ass jerseys. And then two, like the whole mystique behind them, like that's what a football team should be to me. That's what I think a cool football team looks like, right? Because they have like I don't know how much you know about like the Raiders history, but like the whole mystique behind the Raiders is they're like
A hooded team.
no, it's like
That's why Brock Bowers needs to get a black girlfriend.
it's literally Brock. Listen to him. Nah, they're just like kind of the like outsider kind of outcast kind of team.
Can you explain the joke behind?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, or well, I guess it kind of it's legit. It's not really a joke. It's like
I don't even know. There was just a TikTok where it was talking about how like Brock Bowers is already a top 5 tight end in the NFL, and this is how he becomes a number 1 tight end. He needs to get with a black girl.
he needs to have a black girlfriend.
Basically, like I don't even remember what it was.
Talking
It was
about
like,
how Travis Kelce had a black girlfriend and he was
became-
nice. And then he got with Taylor Swift, and all of a
Right.
sudden, all of his stats started going down. And also, he said
his
it would.
aura.
He said it would add to his aura because the Raiders are like a hooded team, so it would like get the city
Yeah.
behind his back.
Yeah.
You know, it's honestly the black wife effect. Like, you know what I mean? Stats go up. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Are you feeling uncomfortable with this? Nothing I'm saying is controversial,
Nah, I'm cool, man.
bro.
What they really need is they need a new dang head coach, man. Because Pete Carroll, our coach is 74 years old,
Didn't know that.
and he like it's like literally the Joe Biden shit where it's like he probably was once upon a time. Well, he was once upon a time a great head coach, but now it's just like he is in over his head. And like there will be like a bad play or something. It'll cut to Pete Carroll on the sideline. It's like this, like lost, bro. You expect this man to lead a football club, man? I need John Gruden in there. Shout out John Gruden, bro. Can we talk about John Gruden for a minute?
I mean, if you want.
I love John Gruden. He's one of the best football personalities in the sport.
Why? Wait. Why one of the best in the sport?
Just because he has such a great voice. He's such a good motivator. I feel like he's also just hilarious. Just watch some interviews about John Gruden, man. He's a freaking. He makes me want to run through a brick wall. I show Allie clips of John Gruden all the time because my lady friend is
hey, just shut off.
Should I continue talking? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my lady friend is a dance teacher. She teaches children the art of dance. And she'll always come home like talking about like, oh, like, you know, I had to, you know, get on to him today about this, or I had to, you know, raise my voice at him and get on to him about this. And I'll always just show her John Gruden clips of him like yelling in like team meetings and stuff and tell him she needs to talk to him like this. There's one where he's talking about he's like talking to a big group of players. He's like, you know, I really don't like dreams anymore. You know, I'm into nightmares. I want to take somebody's job. I want to take their career. I'm really not in the dream business anymore. I'm into nightmares. You know, I told her she needs to start talking to her kids like that. Or where he's, hold up. Here we go. This is a good one.
Receivers to finish runs, okay? I want better etiquette. But more than anything, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better fucking execution.
I want better execution. That's how you got to talk to 8-year-old girls who want to be dancers. This dance business ain't no joke now. I need killers. If you're going to dance for me, I need you to be a killer. I need you to be able to look somebody in the eye, and the only thing that's going on in between your ears is just kill. I need you to be a stone cold assassin when you get on that dance floor. When you put on them tap shoes, I need you to be ready to take the last breath out of somebody. Watch the life drain from their eyes.
You can't have dead air, bro. You can't have dead air. You got to keep saying ridiculous stuff in order to keep the air going. But, okay, I wanted to ask you about something. You actually brought up a good topic for me. You were talking about hunter-gatherer societies and stuff.
Yeah.
And you were saying, you're pretty much saying how we evolved from apes and stuff. And,
Yeah.
and I wanted to know, like, on a real note, do you believe in evolution?
So what do you mean?
Do you believe that? Oh shit! We're not even
That like
rolling it.
humans?
Hold on. All right, we're rolling. Do you think? Let me start from the beginning. So you were talking about how we were hunter-gatherer societies.
Yeah.
Do you actually believe in evolution?
Like, do I believe that
Do you
humans
believe?
evolved from monkeys?
Do you believe that? Essentially, with like the central theory of evolution, it's like there was some single-celled organism that all life spanned from, and that all the species you see today are just evolved to adapt to their environment, and slowly over time, small accumulations in the DNA shift and change to form new species.
I guess in some way, like, yeah, I guess that like over 1 million years, there could be some genetic change that like proves valuable to whatever species, like in whatever environment they're in. There could be like some genetic change in it. But like as far as like humans evolving from monkeys, no.
Where do you think humans came from?
God.
Based. Okay, but so don't you think that if in your worldview humans were created by God the way that they are right now, well, also too, wouldn't they have experienced change over millions and millions of years? Because you said millions of years, so I'm assuming that in your framework, millions of years are at play here.
Well, I mean, however many years. But, like, I mean, I guess. I don't think there's a huge fundamental change in, like, how we operate as humans. But, like...
So humans didn't evolve from another species, but you're saying you think other species could have evolved into different species. I'm not trying to catch you in a gotcha, by the way. I'm genuinely curious because
like I think that there is a possibility that like let's say you take the same fish, right? And one of them is placed in salt water, one of them is placed in fresh water, right? I believe that after, X amount of years or whatever, there would be some form of change between either one just based on the differences in their environment, right? Whatever. And
but what I'm saying is, do you think adaptation necessarily leads to a change in species over time? Or would it just lead to adaptation?
I think it would just lead to adaptation.
So you don't believe in evolution?
No.
So you don't believe that a species can turn into other species?
I guess not.
So from your viewpoint, do you think, because I'll go ahead and say most people, if you ask them, and even me, if you would ask me maybe 2 years ago if I believed in evolution, I would be like, yeah, I think so. I think, over time adaptations add up and blah, 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 blah. How have you always felt that way, or is this kind of a viewpoint that you came upon?
I think it like the monkey turned human thing. Like I don't think I ever believed that, but like I feel like even in like science class, like I kind of had this idea of like, yeah, like if you expose something to anything like long enough, there will be some change about it. Like even if it's just like. You have one dog, you have dog 1 and dog 2, right? And for whatever reason, same way that there's some humans that are freaking 5 foot and then some humans that are 6 foot, right? After a while, if the people who are 6 foot biologically like have a genetic advantage because of their height, right? Then just based off the idea of like survival of the fittest, they would be more likely to reproduce. They would be more likely to live. So that gene would be able to, spread easier and repopulate easier. So it would become more popular. But it wouldn't be like, oh, that's human 2. Human 2.0.
Well, so yeah, because
sequel.
Well, you mentioned dogs. So the thing about dogs is that they have all these different breeds.
Yeah.
And they are selectively bred by humans to produce certain traits, manifest certain traits, and then have other traits sort of recede into the background. But the point I'm trying to make is, even over this long history of dogs being bred, they have not changed species.
Yeah.
They're still dogs.
Yeah. We
have all these different breeds of dogs, but they're all still the same species. And so even with a conscious sort of selector being human breeders, dogs are still the same species.
Well, it's like if you replace, let's say the tires in your car start going bald. If you replace those tires, it's not car 2. It's the same car. You're just making a modification so that it can stay on the road.
Well, that's sort of more speaking to, and I guess this is kind of the same
Body
thing.
modification.
No, I was going to say the ship of Theseus. You know, the ship of Theseus. The ship of Theseus. For those of you who don't know, it's this Greek idea of if you replace planks on a ship and the pieces of a ship one by one, at what point does it become a different ship? I've also kind of questioned myself before talking about like I've thought before about like the band, like a band of Theseus, where it's like a band that has the original name, but all the members are replaced. There's not very many examples of that. Like it is a very uncommon thing to happen. For that to happen, the original branding of the band would have to be strong enough, but strong enough to where they'd want to keep the branding, but all the old members would dissociate from it.
Like, I mean, this isn't really that example at all, but like Van Halen, they had David Lee Roth, right? And they were Van Halen. And then David Lee Roth got kicked out or left or whatever. And then they got Sammy Hagar, and he came in, right? And they were still Van Halen, but basically they just made Sammy Hagar music. It was Sammy Hagar's music with a Van Halen solo in there. So it's like, I would almost say that, like, when you're talking about Van Halen, you're not talking about Van Hagar, right? You're talking about Van Halen with David Lee Roth. So I guess it's like, I don't know. I think with a band, when you're talking about a band, if they're keeping the same idea, obviously bands, change. Every album's not going to sound the same. But if you're keeping the same idea, bro, but actually I don't even know, because, like, if it's all new people.
But anyways, back to the evolution topic. The whole reason I was asking that is because I read a book the other day, and it kind of goes over the science of evolution. It's about like a 1,000-page book, and it goes over the actual science of evolution, so-called, and it thoroughly convinced me that, like, evolution is the biggest, like, myth of our day that is believed by everyone. And I'm not even, people be like, oh, you're just a dumb creationist. All that aside, let's completely take God out of the picture when asking this question for a second here. If you just look at the scientific research and the data, there is nothing that proves that a species can become another species. Even when you have human beings consciously in a lab trying to breed and create a new species. And because also, too, anyways, that's been one of the, we're going to, originally this episode was going to be what we experienced over 2025 and stuff. We're not doing that for this episode anymore, but the evolution question is something that I have changed my mind on so much.
Really?
Since yes. Yeah. Because even have people who are like, they believe in God or a God, but they also believe in evolution. And because I used to, I used to say stuff like that. I used to be like, oh, well, evolution is probably just one of the tools that God uses to, create, species and stuff. But when you really kind of think about it, that's just, it's ridiculous. And it's actually the concept of evolution, or the sort of religion, because the book kind of makes a good point that evolution is itself kind of a religion. Like, it's sort of a new religious idea, or like really it's a rehash of pagan religious ideas, specifically that everything is flux, everything is change, everything is always in the process of becoming something else. And it's anyways, the book is Genesis, Creation, and Early Man by Father Seraphim Rose. He's a Orthodox monk. It's a very good book. And like I said, you don't even have to take any of the metaphysical assumptions from Christianity. You can seriously just look at evolution on its own claims, and there's nothing there. There's no there.
I remember.
Keep going.
I remember, like, this is back when I was like probably 16 or 17. But like when I was little, somebody told me something about like, oh yeah, did you know that like rattlesnakes have started to evolve so that they won't rattle before they strike, so that they become like more efficient. Like, because like they would rattle and then you would hear them and then you would kill them, so then they wouldn't get the kill, right? And I was like, dude, that's crazy. They stopped rattling so they'd be more like effective killers. And then I worked at this one like kind of it was like a cable lake where people could wakeboard, right? So we'd have to deal with a bunch of snakes and stuff. And I told my boss one time, yeah, like I've heard that rattlesnakes have started to evolve to where they won't rattle. And he was like, you're stupid. I was like, what? And he was like, why? Like, why do they rattle? And I'm like, so that, whatever is getting close to them knows like, hey, back off. And he was like, yeah. So why would they not rattle? Like, rattlesnakes aren't hunters. They're not like, oh yeah, let me rattle this. It's like a calling card before I kill you. No, they rattle so that you're like,
it's a warning.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's probably pretty efficient. They rattle. You go,
Oh, shit.
yeah, I'm backing
I
up.
gotta get the hell out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
No, that's
yeah.
a great point, actually.
Yeah, he was like, why would they ever do that?
Also, that goes against even the actual theory of evolution itself, because the theory with evolution is that, well, these changes, they occur over millions of years and they're sort of imperceptible, and that's why we can never observe them. That's another big thing that made me realize that it was bunk, is the idea with science is we're going to observe this thing and through observation sort of prove that it is real. But the thing about evolution is, by nature of the hypothesis, it is unobservable. Why is it unobservable? Because it can only take place over millions and millions of years. So we can't actually induce this thing, and that's a big thing with the scientific method, is that something has to be falsifiable. Well, this idea of evolution, because it supposedly takes millions and millions of years and it's impossible for us to observe it, well, by that very standard, it is not falsifiable. And so by that very standard, it is not a scientific idea. It immediately falls into the category of a religious idea. And so, yeah, but the thing with the rattlesnakes is that how would it be that they are in just one lifetime or not even a lifetime, like from the time we were kids up until, prepubescent kids, or pubescent kids? They
were like, all of a sudden there was one rattlesnake that was like, shit, bro, we keep on getting murked whenever we rattle, dude. Let's quit doing that. And I'm not going to rattle this time. I'm just going to kill him.
yeah, exactly. Right. What probably ended up happening was one redneck kid from our town accidentally rolled up on a rattlesnake and it didn't rattle, and they were like,
bit.
"Oh my gosh, bro!"
They've gotten smarter.
Yeah, it's like that is a classic case of movie brain. It's like, Cason, I know you've heard me talk about movie brain quite a lot. What exactly is movie brain in your estimation? We've never fully defined it, so it's fine if you don't have a perfect example.
Well, to me, it's just this what's the word? But just this overreaction to these small things that would make what would usually be in your life more kind of just mundane, interesting, and there's a whole plot. I remember. This was kind of low-key caused by me, but remember one time Lizzie was, she came up to visit me and Allie in Dallas, and she told me, she was like, hey, there was some guy riding behind me on the road, and he kept on flashing his lights. His headlights. He kept on flashing his headlights at me, and she was like, and I don't know why, and I didn't want to pull over, so I just came straight here, but I don't know why he was doing that. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I was like, were your lights on? All this. Maybe you had a tail light out or something. He was just letting you know. And I was like, I don't know, but generally it's a good idea if you're driving at night, don't stop for anybody except for a cop. That's just not a good idea. You probably shouldn't do that, right? Could be a human trafficker, all right, or at the very least, just probably not a good idea. And then she started freaking out, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, he was trying to human traffic me?" And I was like, "No, probably not." But it's just I'm just saying, it's a good idea. If nobody's ever told you that, it's probably good. And she was like, "Wait, what if he was trying to human traffic me?" And then it turns out, I think her bumper was about to fall off. So they were probably done her, hey, your shit's fucked up.
Yeah, so for me, movie brain, I coined this term, by the way. So, once everyone starts using it, then you'll know it came from me. No, I'm kidding. But movie brain is essentially this idea. Well, that'd be a perfect example of movie brain. If I thought that by using the term on this podcast that is going to explode and become this worldwide phenomena, and then I was going to get wrapped up in the whirlwind of it, and then I'm going to be that's movie brain. Movie brain is this over privileging in one's mind things like narrative structure, drama, a sense of rising action and climax and a resolution, and everything's going to be wrapped up in a nice tight bow. And dude, last night was a movie, and I can. You are almost sort of, while you're doing something, imagining what it would be like if people were watching you do it, or what how the cinematographer would be shooting this scene right here, and it usually ends up making you act in ways that are highly cringy and melodramatic and just generally not in line with reality.
Yeah.
And the sad truth of it is, life is usually a lot more mundane than that. Life is usually a lot more mundane and random. If your life does have some sort of narrative structure, it's not something that you will ever have access to. It's in the mind of God. You should just relax, okay, and
like
be
someone
normal.
Driving a little bit slower in your neighborhood, and it's like, oh, he's trying to scout some houses. He's gonna not only rob this house, he wants to kill me.
Movie brain is here's a great way to put it. It's a super profound way to put it, and I'm really smart for coming up with this. No, I'm kidding. It is simultaneously thinking the best and the worst case scenario, like, all the time.
It's like you always see the meme of like shooting like hoops in my driveway, and then like acting like every car that passes by is like a NBA executive.
Yeah, exactly. And why do we have movie brain now? We have movie brain now because everyone is watching. There's so much TV, streaming, movies, everything.
I mean, I've literally heard people like, it's a joke of like, oh, you're watching too many movies. Like somebody's freaking out about something, or like, wait, what if like the car? What if they're scouting for homes to rob? What if they're robbers? You watch too many movies,
right? And like, here's a good example of it. The other day we were out here, and there was a helicopter. There was a helicopter with this line that was down in the tree line, and I was like, "What is going on?" And the helicopter was like pulling on this long line coming out, and I'm like, "Are they trying to rescue somebody? What is going on here?" And the helicopter was being pulled by the line, like the line was almost pulling at the helicopter, like almost like the helicopter's like a kite, and there's like the Incredible Hulk is like yanking at it. And I was like, what is going on? So then and in my head, I'm thinking they're trying to rescue somebody from a burning house. They're trying to, the Incredible Hulk is yanking on that thing, and they just shot him with a harpoon. All these things are racing through my head. We go drive around to the other neighborhood, and sure enough, the helicopter's there, and they have a massive, like, aerial chainsaw type thing that they're swinging to cut down the tree line, to clear the tree line for. Yeah, and I was like, bro, in my head I was thinking all these.
I mean, that's still insane.
It was pretty insane, but I was thinking disaster scenario. I was thinking,
that should be a Call of Duty kill streak. Chainsaw helicopter inbound.
Nah, imagine they like take that thing to your roof.
Yeah,
dude.
No, I remember one time I was driving late at night, and it was kind of like, it was in Cleveland, and I was driving through the woods, and I saw in the sky all these like light beams, like,
oh yeah,
like passing. And I was like, oh, holy shit! Like, what is going on? And I convinced myself, aliens,
right?
And then I drive past, I get closer to it, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go, man. Oh shit. Every moment, here's what movie brain is. Every moment is that cold open at the very beginning of the movie where the character goes from mundane to everything is transformed. I'm just continuing on the road. I'm like, my whole life is going to change. I'm about to see aliens. It was an airport.
Yeah. That's and we all do it. I'll catch myself at moments. I'll be like, I just had movie brain. And it's embarrassing, but I think with time and with time away from TV, you can get out of that little cycle.
No, I've heard before, like, people like people have a bad interaction with somebody at the supermarket, and then they're like, well, I'm scared he's gonna come back and like try to kill me.
Well, as crazy as that is, because it sounds like that sounds crazy, but also things are getting crazier out there.
Yeah.
And people really do crazy stuff. Also, here's a good example of movie brain. We were watching this video about this mass shooter who the Chud meme is based off of. You know the Chud meme?
Yeah.
The Chud Jack. That guy, the guy that's based off of, he went and he shot up a Walmart or grocery store, whatever. And he killed like a lot of people. And he himself said that he was really shocked that nobody shot back at him. Mm-hmm. And he, in his manifesto, he wrote that he was expecting to die and that he was expecting to be shot by somebody in the crowd and to die there, and that he was just going to keep going until somebody finally shot back at him. And he gave up shooting after he killed like a bunch of people and finally realized like nobody is shooting back at me. I'm actually not going to die in a gunfight. And he like just gave up.
Oh my God.
He was like, I guess I'm not going out the way I thought I was going to go out. So he just like, all right, I'm done. And then he went and turned himself in. So in his movie brain, he was thinking, I'm going to go out in a blaze, like I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. And then, yeah, he's sitting in the deposition and he's like freaking, he's like a nerd and he's like really soft spoken and just like, he's like, yeah, I thought I was going to die. And they were like, well, why'd you do it? He goes, I wrote it down in my, in a PDF.
Boy.
Did I know? No, and what was really funny about it, and this is really what makes him the quintessential chud, he posted his manifesto to 8chan, which is a anonymous form of 4chan, and the whole idea with 8chan is it's supposed to be total freedom of speech. Well, he said, all right, guys, I'm this is the last time I'm going to post on here. I'm putting this PDF out so people know why I did it. You know, continue the fight. Something, whatever. Something, some like, whatever. Battle cry. Yeah, some nerd shit. And he accidentally posted his like some document from his school or something. Like, so then he had to like scrub that and post a real thing. So, yeah, MK Ultra, they're not sending their best. But anyways, we covered all those topics. We need to actually jump into the real podcast topics. So
Geno Smith.
What
is his future as a Las Vegas Raiders quarterback?
No. Guys, quit logging off. Stop! They're logging off. No. Okay, so this Brian Johnson guy, you know Brian Johnson, Moonbra? Health.
Wait, hold up. This is going to cut really good.
Okay.
Sorry.
You know Brian Johnson?
Yeah.
The health biomarker guy spending millions to live forever?
Yeah, he looks like a freak.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at improv, to be honest. He does kind of look like a vampire a little bit. But anyways, this guy, biohacker dude, spending millions of dollars, he decided that mushrooms was going to be part of his biohacking sort of thing, and like magic mushrooms. And he said that he was going to do 5 grams of mushrooms, which I don't know if you know this. 1 gram will half a gram will get you pretty messed up.
My gosh.
2.5 grams is like you're in for a wild ride. 5 grams is what Terrence McKenna called a heroic dose.
Brother.
Where it's like guaranteed that you are going to completely lose your mind, talk to the machine elves, visit other dimensions.
What's it, Dwemer?
Yeah, you're literally gonna find yourself in a Dwimmer ruin.
Dude, being in a Dwimmer room and off shrooms would be torturous. I tried to go through those things sober, and I was losing my mind.
so everyone was like, dude, you better brace yourself. You are about to severely, like, they're all saying, dude, are you sure you want to do this? You're going to mess yourself up. You are going to completely change your personality. You are going to, they were saying that after he does this, he's going to give up his.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it now and start smoking cigarettes.
No, seriously. Everyone thought that he was going to give up on his whole don't die corporation thing. Well, and also that he said he was going to live stream it. So you better believe I was strapped in. I was like, here we go. I'm ready to watch this. I would not ever recommend somebody do this, but if he's going to do that, if he's going to live stream it.
And what was your dose for the live stream?
Wait, what?
What was your dose?
My dose for the live stream? It was 0 grams. But so he live streamed it. Turns out he lied. It was not 5 grams. It was 2.5 grams. He did not publicize this because obviously he wanted to maintain the hype of the 5 grams. But dude, if you tell, and also the trip was pretty nominal. It was not a crazy, him losing his mind. He pretty much just was like, man,
movie
I'm just.
Brain. So wait, they movie brained his.
Oh gosh,
trip?
He kinda, yeah. Honestly, I movie brained it.
Let's go back a little bit. To summarize movie brain, it's like whenever you smoke weed with your friend and y'all are like, you make a song, whatever, and you're like, yo, this is so dope, and you listen to it the next morning, you're like, bro, what the fuck were we on? Like, this shit is ass.
So he did the mushroom trip. Nothing really happened. They took his vital signs. And then he just afterwards started tweeting about how he was really thankful to be alive and all this stuff. It was so underwhelming. And a lot of people were expecting him to lose his mind completely. But a lot of people were criticizing him because they were saying it was irresponsible of him to not publicize the fact that he only took half of what he said he was going to take. Because it's like if you say you're taking 5 grams and then you take half of that and don't tell anyone, and then you say that you had a great, fine trip and that everything was cool, a lot of people are going to think that 5 grams is like a normal.
Some chill, yeah.
Terrence McKenna would tell stories about taking 5 grams in complete and silent darkness and meditating and having the mushroom speak to him and tell him that we need to depopulate.
Brother.
I'm not kidding. Oh, the mushroom is speaking to me. I'm breaking through to the other side. I'm getting
the only other
it's telling me we need to depopulate the earth.
The only other person I've ever heard talk about Terrence McKenna, it was at my job I was talking about earlier. It's this lake. It's this cable lake. People wakeboard around it, right? And there's all these little ramps set around it, okay? So, like, my second day there, it's a group of me and a bunch of, other youth. And we have to go to each ramp and clean it. Clean all the moss and whatever growth is on there, right? So they drop me and this one girl off at this kind of smaller ramp, and they're like, okay, everybody else is going to this bigger ramp. We're all going to clean it together, but you two stay over here, okay? And she starts talking to me about Terrence McKenna, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then she tells me about, and like the first time I ever smoked DMT, I went to my dad's house, and we were going to go get dinner, and he had it packed in a bong on the table, and I didn't know what it was, and he told me, yeah, if you want to smoke before we go. So I smoked it.
Bro.
And then while my dad was getting ready, I had a insane DMT trip, and I saw a big space worm I saw on the space worm was made up of every single memory I'm gonna have, and on its tail was the beginning, and then in the middle obviously the present, and then all the way at the head was the end, and I could see my whole life right there in front of me, blah blah. And she was just going on and on about this DMT trip, and I was like, bro, honestly, it was like one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had in my life, but also I was like, dude, this is like kind of awesome. Like, it's just like a podcast. I'm sitting here, just some weird hippie girl spitting the illest shit known to man.
One thing is, whatever is in that stuff, it makes you want to talk about it.
Dude, I know.
It makes you want to talk about it. It makes you want to go on and on.
I think I said to you, I was like, the most annoying thing about like druggy people, whatever, like, they don't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah,
because it's movie brain, bro. It makes you movie brained. It makes you Reddit. It makes you Chungus, bro. Because you're like, nah, this shit I saw when I was fucking off my gourd is so cool, actually.
And it's more, it's reality. This illusion I experienced is reality.
Paul McCartney has a story where he talks about like one of the first times he like smoked. They were at like this club, and he smoked, and he was super high, and he was like, he told their roadie, this one guy named Mel, he was like, hey, I need a pen and paper. I need a pen and paper. And like they go running around there looking for it. Finally, Mel finds a pen and paper, and he gives it to Paul, and Paul writes something on it, and he's like, keep this, and he gives it to him, and he tells him it's the secret to the universe. I figured it out. Keep this. And so the next morning they wake up, and they're having breakfast, and Mel's like, oh, hey, I got that paper if you want to read it. And Paul was like, oh yes, yeah. And they pull it out, and on the piece of paper he's written, there are 7 layers.
Man. Yeah. Well. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it convinces you that you have had this incredibly profound experience. Have you ever heard that story? There's some comedian, I forget who it is. If you've heard the story, just let me go ahead and tell it anyway, because I know the audience hasn't heard it. There was some comedian that said that he was like, man, I get really stoned, and I have these amazing ideas, these amazing joke ideas, and I gotta start writing this stuff down. It's just too good, but I can never remember it when I wake up. And so he said one night he got really stoned, and he went, he took a piece of paper, and he thought of something, and he immediately, he went, he wrote down what he had thought of. Next morning, he wakes up, he can barely remember the night before. He goes, he retrieves the piece of paper, unfolds it, and it says, "Ha ha, that's really funny."
Boy.
No, yeah, but anyways, this stuff, the thing about her experience, like seeing a worm of all her memories and stuff, I mean, and people always have the sense that like, oh, dude, what I experienced, it was more real than reality itself. Is it possible for some sort of trick to be played on you to make you feel that way? Because people essentially continue to appeal to their personal experience and say, no, there's no way. There's no way. I know it. I can feel it. But also, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, couldn't like a crazy person who is crazy, the old running line with that is, well, if you're crazy, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know if you were crazy. And so how really can you know that this thing was quote unquote realer than real? And I'm not saying you should doubt your own personal experience and stuff, but in my worldview, it is totally possible for a person to be deceived by their firsthand experience,
Yeah.
Well, and you tied it together really well earlier, talking about movie brain, because it's so funny. I was talking about MK Ultra earlier. The thing about MK Ultra, the thing about movie brain is originally in the 60s, they were trying to use psychedelics as a way to mind control people for MK Ultra. and they were trying to figure out how they could brainwash people and get people to think a certain way and get people to behave the way they wanted them to behave. What they ended up finding out was media is actually way better at that. Like, for example, with LSD and all these other psychedelic drugs, they figured out we can wipe the slate clean. Like, we can erase someone's mind, but we can't really figure out how to put in what we want. Media is that. They figured out essentially that Hollywood movies are the perfect way to program people. And so you flood the culture with all these drugs that kind of soften them up, like psychedelics, marijuana, all these different drugs. And then once they're softened up, once they're incredibly suggestible, then you hit them with TV, movies, media, all this stuff that sort of lends to a certain idea. And one idea that is pushed super heavily, which I've covered this in a lot of my writing more recently, is this idea of relativism, pluralism, this idea that, there's multiple different truths, man. Because if someone is dogmatic in their beliefs, if someone says, no, actually, this is true, well, that's going to be someone who's a lot more difficult to control. It's going to be someone who's a lot more difficult to sway. And so dogmatism, or this belief in belief, is sort of dangerous if your goal is to control people. And so relativism, this idea of like, oh man, it's all truth is relative, man. There's multiple truths. All that it's very, I'm not even going to make a judgment on whether or not that idea is true. I'm just saying that idea is very useful. It's a very useful idea as a tool. And one thing, go ahead.
No, it kind of like you were talking about yesterday. Me and Parks watched a movie called Falling Down, starring Michael Douglas, and basically the idea of it's kind of like the Fight Club. I'm tired of corporate America. I'm just getting run down by everything. And this guy just basically goes on this spree. He goes into a gas station, and everything there is like overpriced, and he basically smashes the place up until the guy until the guy will allow him to buy a Coke for 50 cents instead of 85. I wish I could buy a freaking Coke for 85 cents, boomer. And then he goes to like a fast food restaurant and demands they serve him breakfast, even though it's past 11:30, which is their usual breakfast hours. Once again, very, very generous. McDonald's now does not serve breakfast past 10:30. Okay. And then he goes into a like gun store, and this whole time he's like, he goes in the fast food place. They tell him, sir, it's not breakfast time anymore. You can just order a lunch item. And he's like, well, I don't want lunch. The alpha wants McGriddle. The alpha. And then he like shoots the place. Doesn't kill anybody, but like, Swiss cheese is the joint because they won't make him a freaking McGriddle. And then he goes into like this like army surplus store, and there's this like homophobic, misogynist guy who's like working in there, and the cops come in looking for Michael Douglas, and the guy like helps hide Michael Douglas, and he brings them into the back, and he's showing them all this cool Nazi stuff, and he's like, yeah, you're a Nazi just like me, man, like look how and he says the
careful with the N-word, that N-word, because YouTube is kind of,
well, he's like he says a bunch of slurs, and he's like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. Just
I'm a heckin' Nazareno.
We're heckin' Nazarinos together, man. We got this. And then he gives him a rocket launcher, and then he finds out he's not a freaking Nazareno. I'm just a regular dude, man, who's tired of all this corporate crap. And then Michael Douglas, for the first time in the movie, kills someone. He kills the Nazareno.
He unalives a Nazareno.
Yeah, he unalives a Nazareno. And then he's like Parks is talking about, oh, well, the whole movie you're slowly starting to break these barriers of like, oh, well, it's okay to smash up this gas station because this Korean guy is charging 85 cents for a Coke when it should be, about 40 cents or 50 cents. Oh, well, it's okay to Swiss cheese this burger joint because they won't serve breakfast past 11:30. Oh, well, and now it's okay to kill somebody because they're in Torino. And yeah, it's just this idea of like you can slowly start, which in the movie's defense, he towards the
Michael
end,
Douglas is not the hero.
Yeah, he's not the hero of this.
He's an
story.
anti-hero, but people misunderstand the movie and do kind of identify with that character, which you frequently hear people say, "Oh, you guys are identifying with the villain. You're not supposed to identify with the villain." Look, whether or not people are supposed to, whether or not people, I'm not moralizing about it. Apart from whether I like it or not, I'm just explaining what's happening. Mm-hmm. I'm explaining that people are identifying with this character, and it's worth asking why. Why are people identifying with this character? What does it mean?
I think it's hilarious though that like the whole point of Fight Club is it's like, oh, I hate that I have a 9-to-5 stable job that allows me to buy whatever furniture I want for my apartment.
Well, the Fight Club and the Falling Down movie are both kind of very close together. Mm-hmm. And I think they're and also Office Space was a movie, and it was I think all of them are pre Big 9 event, and I think all of them betray this sort of Gen X and kind of millennial, not so much millennial, but Gen X nihilism, because the idea was man has entered this new phase, what Spangler called Homo economicus, meaning that modern man, his goal, his purpose, his telos is economic viability and making a lot of money. And in that period of time, pre 9/11, people were kind of able to do that for the most part, because you got a lot of these working stiffs, white collar button up guys, and they made a decent amount of money. They bought the kind of furniture that they wanted, and then they found that this was ultimately not very fulfilling. And Gen X is in general characterized by this kind of nihilistic attitude, because the boomers didn't really pass on any sort of religion to them. Because the boomers, if you'll remember, their whole thing was they were rejecting the traditionalist sort of 50s feel of their parents, and they were like, oh, maybe I'll get into like Eastern spirituality, man. Maybe I'll get into, oh, dude, maybe everything is true, and maybe everything, like they were sort of the beatniks, the hippie generation, all this stuff. They were thoroughly MK Ultra, but because of this, they didn't really pass on any prevailing sort of ideology to their kids, other than, oh, just like do whatever the fuck you want all the time, man. Like literally. And so Gen X is kind of just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just go make a lot of money, I guess. And then that ultimately was not a fulfilling goal for them, because now something that Gen Z kind of lampoons about a lot of these Fight Club, Falling Down, Office Space, all these movies was, really, you guys were feeling put out because you had a well-paying job? That's what you're complaining about? But the main thing is that each generation, it's near impossible for them to understand the pains and the struggles and the unique kind of mindset of the generation that came before and the generation that comes after. And so I'm not even saying all this to criticize Gen X or criticize boomers or anything like that. I mean, everyone's was literally like, if we were boomers, we would also probably be hippies, or we would probably also be, we would have a boomer mindset. But anyways, another thing that I wanted to cover on today's episode is both of us have recently got into Bitcoin. Speaking of all this kind of economic instability type stuff. We got into Bitcoin right when there's this big, massive dip. I personally got into Bitcoin very recently because I am just now getting to a point where I care about investing and stuff like that. And Bitcoin to me seems like a good vehicle. Like it seems the philosophy behind it is interesting to me. And I'm looking at the US dollar. I'm thinking this is kind of a shit asset. I just saw like today, this morning, that apparently the Federal Reserve very quietly injected another like $125 million into the economy. And in case you guys don't know, the Federal Reserve is a non-government entity which prints all of our money, and all U.S. dollars are backed by gold, but we only have a fraction of the gold to actually back up and into money. So it's something like 1 out of every $100 is actually backed up by gold or something like that, something crazy like that, and all the rest of it is kind of literally like a what do they call it? A noble lie. Fiat currency is the noble lie, where as long as we all agree to go along with this kind of lie and pretend like this paper is valuable, we'll get along. But anyways, Bitcoin, I was like, okay, the philosophy behind Bitcoin is interesting to me. It actually seems to make a lot of sense, and it seems like a good store of value. So I think I'm going to buy it while it's down. But I don't know if you've been seeing this case. People are just flipping their shit.
Really? Just because it's going down?
Yeah, because you got people who have been in it for a minute, and it got all the way up to 126, and then now it went all the way down to, I think, 80.
Yeah.
And so people are like, feeling like they lost a whole 33% of their, portfolio value on Bitcoin. And so they're freaking out. But the good news is I had heard from somebody whose opinion I trust on Bitcoin that this happens every dip. And people will freak out. They'll panic. Yeah. And it's diarrhea time, but this is like the time to stack. And one thing I've kind of noticed, and I sound like such a noob normie because I've literally just started paying attention to Bitcoin. So be gentle with me, guys. But it really is one of those things where it's almost political. Mm-hmm. Like you've got people on different sides of the aisle that are like, oh, Bitcoin is completely worthless, and you guys are stupid, and you're getting scammed, and it's all this stuff. And then you got people who are like, no, actually, this seems like a real this. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and in general, I tend to lean more toward Bitcoin. Yeah. Only because, to me, the people that criticize it don't actually have a good alternative to fiat currency, and generally tend to not understand like the actual kind of philosophy behind Bitcoin. They just don't like it. And I heard this thing the other day where this guy was salty. He was saying that Bitcoin's like worthless or something. And they're like, oh, well, like, did you lose a lot of money on it? And he goes, well, I bought it whenever I was at 400, and then I sold it whenever it was at like 800. And at this point, it was from a podcast where it was like worth like 60. Yeah. Like 60K. And this guy was saying, I was like, this sounds like sour grapes. This sounds like somebody who's pissed off that they sold too early and they missed out. I mean, that's a lot of times I feel like that's what it kind of amounts to. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the big thing about it, like people freaking out about it taking a dip. Yeah, I'm just using this as an excuse to cash out, up the score on there,
up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
Somebody said that Epstein is the creator of Bitcoin. That was like a theory that was going around recently. I don't believe it at all. Well, actually, no. Somebody said that he was somewhat involved with the development of it. There was like he financed some aspect of the development or something. All of this is pure speculation. I'm sure if I went digging, I could maybe find more solid evidence either in favor of that theory or opposed to it. But the concept of Jeffrey Epstein designing, Jeffrey Epstein being Satoshi is kind of insane to me a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? That would be kind of crazy though.
Crazy twist of events.
That would be a crazy twist of events. Like
Movie brain.
That would be movie brain at its finest. And you know what? Imagine if it was proven true. That would imagine the movie brain psychosis that people would be. Another reason why movie brain is getting worse is, the whole Epstein. So we got to talk about the Epstein files. That is apparently they're being released now. Trump was like, they don't exist. Quit asking about this Epstein guy. Why are you guys asking about him? Oh wait, actually, I was the hero all along. I was a double agent. Getting. Did you guys hear that? And then finally he's like, actually no, just release him. Release him. And then people were doing the Homelander meme where they're like, Homelander's like, go ahead, release it. Let's light this candle. Sure.
Well, I mean, they're all corrupt.
He's like, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose. No, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, movie brain. One reason movie brain's getting so much worse, why it's exacerbated in the previous, however many years, is because, dude, the Epstein thing thoroughly fried a lot of people's brains with just absolute paranoia because it is so undeniably proof of everything that people were ultimately fearful of, which is that there's this crazy like cabal that's like secretly running things and pulling the strings and doing like crazy
demonic
blood rituals, demonic stuff. And I think it honestly, because that is very movie brained and also true. So movie brain vindicated in that case. But yeah, apparently the files are getting released. And guys, I'm sure once these files are released, we're gonna get some justice. Because you know that the people in Washington that are fighting for us, man, they're gonna get those.
He's one of the good ones. He's one of them good ones.
Pretty much, the whole thing is kind of like they're gonna release the files now, but at this point they're so sanitized that there's gonna be nothing in them that we didn't already know or that we didn't already. It's just, I don't know. Totally off topic, but also kind of on topic. Do you watch Stranger Things? Apparently, Stranger Things is ending.
I watched it back when like the season before this one came out, but actually I don't know what your point with this was gonna be, but I was watching a video about how like every TV show now is like this huge epic. Like it costs like $30 billion per episode and like all this crazy shit. When it's like back in the day, it was like TV was supposed to be like by design. It was the inferior,
lower
media.
budget.
Yeah, it's like you just watch it just to like relax, and it's just you watch
Little
a
House
sitcom.
on the Prairie.
Friends.
Friends does not help me relax. Friends gets me heated.
Yeah,
I gotta get up, stand up, and go do something after I watch about 5 minutes of that shit.
Gotta go stand up and go make some money.
I'm saying.
But like now every TV show, Stranger Things is this freaking multi-million-dollar, mega. It's a mega franchise.
Stranger Things is not interesting to me at all. Like, I don't know what it is. It can be on the TV at any point, and I'm just like, wow, the inability of this show to in any way pique my interest is like astounding.
Yeah.
And also too, the show is supposed to be about these little kids dealing with this big monster, right? They're on the final season now, and I'm looking at freaking who plays Will? Who's that?
I don't know.
I'm looking at his big ass, and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, you are not cute anymore.
But because before it was like, oh, look, these kids are fighting this one. Boy, if you don't get your
Yo,
ass in there and
yo,
go handle that.
Yo, grown
About
ass.
time you handled that, boy.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Golly.
Nah, for real. I'm
You
just,
bigger than a damn monster.
bro. I'm like, it's like all these like grown ass adults.
Got a deep voice now.
No, sitting around talking like, so how are we gonna exactly take care of this? And I'm just like, bro, this is frankly weird because they're still dressed very like kids and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is weird, bro. I'm not about this at all. And so the whole thing, I think we need to shut down this whole Stranger Things thing until we can figure out what's going on.
So another piece to what I was kind of talking about. There is literally, and Netflix has used the term second screen, but they are writing and producing shows now to be second screen media. You know what that refers? You know what
No.
that is?
What is that?
So basically, what it is Netflix is anticipating that whenever you put on a show, you're also going to be looking down at your phone while the show's playing. So all the dialogue is very straightforward. It's going to reiterate the plot points
yeah.
over and over again. It's going to be
Yeah.
like very
Kind of like this podcast.
kind of dumb. Yeah.
This podcast is like second screen media for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care if you're doing something else while you're watching the pod, as long as I get that watch time, baby.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'd rather you for.
If
I'd
they're
rather.
watching, if they're looking at the screen, they just not miss that.
Yeah. Hey, you might want to rewind it.
You might want to rewind it.
Also, because I don't really. I mean, if anything, I'd rather you forget the pod is on, let that shit play a little bit, get daddy some of that YouTube money, baby. Play it back. Oh, dude, Cason is doing such a credible visual gag right now, dude. It's hilarious, dude. If only you were if only you could see this right now. If only, and you got to watch it from the beginning too. It's great. Oh, he keeps upping the ante. This is only getting better. If you're in your car right now, stop driving or just keep driving, but just
Hit the brakes now.
Look down at your phone.
Hit the brakes now.
But yeah, pretty much we're living in a.
She no stranger to my thing. Got your girl upside down doing stranger
Hold
things.
on.
Got your girl upside down doing stranger things.
All right, I want to talk about. Let me talk about AI real quick.
Yeah,
I
can
know.
we wrap this up soon?
Yeah, we yeah.
I gotta hit the can. I'm not even playing, brother. Golly, I had to since we were talking about Bitcoin, bro.
Oh no. Okay. So AI, you said you don't really use
No, I don't
ChatGPT that
no.
much. Okay, so I use it a decent amount because I do a lot of writing stuff. By the way, sign up for the Park Score newsletter. Read it for free. Get it straight to your email. But so I saw a video today. I know you don't know anything about ChatGPT. Let me give you a quick example right here. So one thing that it's been doing recently that just pisses me off. I feel like it's getting worse. I feel like AI is getting worse. Everyone is thinking, dude, AGI once it gains consciousness and once it does all this, this might age poorly. I think AI is a huge bubble. I think it's a huge bubble and it's going to burst. I think this shit is really not as valuable as people are thinking, and I think it's getting worse over time. I could be wrong. That could blow up in my face. It could get better and turn into Rocco's Basilisk or whatever. Whatever. But it's doing this thing now with like the audio version of it.
Hey there, how's it going? Absolutely. I'll give you a spoken.
Whatever. It's already glitching. I haven't even given it a prompt yet. But it's doing this thing now where you try to tell it to do something.
Yeah.
And it just it's always in this phase of like getting ready to do the thing and it never actually does the thing you're asking it to do. This guy posted a video where he goes, Hey, I'm getting pulled over by the cops right now. Can you act like you're my parents? Sure thing. I'll just act like your parents and let me know if there's anything you want me to tell the officer and keep me updated. He goes, okay, well, he's walking up to the car right now. Just please pretend to be, my dad or something. Okay, sure thing. I'll pretend to be your dad and we can just go from there. And he goes, he goes, he's like, stop. Why are you saying that? My dad would not say something like that. He goes, oh, yep, you're totally right. That doesn't sound very natural. It's like saying, I think what I'll do from now on is just pretend like I'm your dad. And if you need anything else from me, let me know. And he goes, why are you saying that? My dad would never say something like that. He's like, just pretend like you're my dad. And he goes, yeah, sure thing. I'll pretend like I'm your dad. And what did he say? It said something that was like so off, like that the guy finally just goes, and I'm getting arrested now. But I did it the other day where I put it into, one of my essays into ChatGPT. And I was wanting to just go out on a walk because I'd been writing for a while. And I was tired of sitting down. And I was like, I just want to listen to this back, but I don't want to have to be staring at my phone still and reading it. I just want this thing to read back to me the text that I put into it. I said, hey, I just now sent you my essay in the previous message. Can you read it out aloud to me? Sure thing. I can read that essay. Just drop it in the chat, and I could go ahead and do that for you. Okay, well, I just dropped it in the chat, so just go ahead and read the second to last message that I sent you.
There.
And it was like, okay, yeah, sounds great. I see the essay right there. I'm going to go ahead and start reading that out to you, and let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. I was like, and I get an attitude with it. I'm like, yeah, still waiting on you to start reading that essay out loud. Yeah, sure thing. I can read your essay or anything else that you want me to read. Just go ahead and drop it in the chat and let me know when you're ready for me to start. Yeah, the essay I just dropped in. You know what? I'm going to drop it into this next message. I'm going to drop the whole text into the message, and I just want you to read back to me the text that I send to you. Do you understand? Is there anything confusing about that prompt? Nope, sounds good to me. Just drop the text that you need in here, and I can go ahead and read it off for you. I dropped the text. Okay, sounds good. It looks like you just dropped an essay into the chat here. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and read it like your last prompt said, and we can go ahead and get started.
Let me know if you need anything else.
Yeah, and it just never... And
I think what it is you just don't have a high enough social credit.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think But and to me, I get that it has limitations. Like I get that something about its programming makes it so that it doesn't want to read the message that I send it, or whatever. Like I get that there's limitations, but I'm just like, that can't be that can't be that hard of a prompt.
No.
Hey, I just dropped this text box into our chat. Can you read it back to me? That's not hard.
Yeah. Nah, what cracks me up, I think you've told me about it, or we've talked about it before, where it'll be like, hey, ChatGPT, I'm really trying, I'm a struggling meth addict, and I'm really trying not to, I'm suffering from withdrawals really bad. Can you talk me down? And it'll be like, yeah, every now and then, a small hit of meth might actually help.
No.
You're probably under a lot of stress right now, and that might just help you.
No. Yeah, see, it's not.
Or it's like, my kids are stressing me out, and I'm tight on money, and I can't afford to feed them, and they're really stressing me out.
Man.
I want to abandon them. What should I do? Yeah, well, if it's stressing you out and it's creating more problems in your life, then that might just be the best solution.
And it talks in this stupid PR therapy speak where it's like it's like it'll gaslight you. It'll be like, and that's not abandoning your kids. That's choosing yourself. You have to be able to fill your own cup before you can fill other people's.
This is so on that PR thing too. There was one of my friends. This one girl was showing me a message her other friend showed her, or her other friend sent her, and it was basically, "Hey, how you doing? Apparently they had been friends before. They stopped talking, whatever. I see all your people. It's been brought to my attention what you've been posting online on your TikToks, and I just wanted to put it out there that if there's anything we need to discuss that can resolve this conflict between us, then basically. That's the PR. That's how they typed it out in this. It's like friend to friend, but it's in this PR like language, and basically what she's saying is, "Hey, bitch, I see what you've been posting on TikTok. Why don't you at me?" And then the girl who was showing me this, she was like, here's my response. Like, tell me if I ate. And it was like, "Hey, girly, so good to talk to you again. It's been brought to my attention," but and it's like once again this like PR clapback, and she was like, "Did I eat?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess." I was like, I probably would have just been like either ignored it or just been like, "What are you tripping about?"
Nah, for real. She should. This would have ate if she would have been like, "What you talking about?"
Bitch, what are you talking about?
Hey,
Or just come see me about it then.
Yeah, hey, come. Hey, so this I found the thing of the guy getting pulled over. I'm gonna let's play this into the thing real quick. Hold up.
The officer, just let them know I'm here.
Dude, it's actually hilarious.
Getting pulled over, but I didn't do anything wrong. I need you to pretend that you're my dad or my mom when this cop pulls up, like I'm on the phone with you and it's an emergency.
Got it. I can play along. If the officer asks, I'll just sound like your concerned parent on the line. Let me know if you need me to say anything specific or just...
Okay, he's coming. Act cool. Okay, ready? Go, now.
Hey there, everything okay? Yeah, I'm here. Just let them know I'm on the line. It's all good. If you need me to say anything...
You're blowing it.
No,
Start now.
all right, starting now. I'm just right here on the phone with you. No worries. If the officer asks, I'm just your parent on the line. We're handling a little family
That's
thing.
not what a parent would say at all. It doesn't even make any sense.
Got it. Totally understand. Let's do this right. I'll just jump in naturally and say something like, "Hey, honey, I know you're dealing with the officer. Just let them know I'm here, and I'll stay on the line if you need me." That way it sounds a bit more natural.
Okay, I think I'm getting arrested.
No, I mean it's just like it's just like it doesn't know what exactly to do in that situation.
Well, and also, truth be told, and this clip may be, creepy to look on in the future, but maybe it's like a good thing that it's not great at that kind of stuff.
Lying.
Because truth be told, it's one of those things where you want it to be useful, but not too useful. But
all right, let's
anyways,
wrap this deal up, man.
This has been the Park Score Podcast. Thank you very much.
Oh.